Hey everybody, it's me, Timmy Flyers Guy, and welcome to the Orange and Black Recap. I'm your host, Timmy Flyers Guy. Last night, the Philadelphia Flyers faced off against the Ottawa Senators. The final game before the Olympic break. Last night, the Flyers Olympians were honored last night as Travis Sanheim, Dan Vladar, and Rasmus Ristolainen were recognized as the Flyers Olympians. They were honored last night before the game. Last night it was going into that first period. It was a scoreless first period for the Flyers. And the scoreless second period for the Philadelphia Flyers last night. The Ottawa Senators got on the board, taking a 1-0 lead. Flyers were able to tie it up late in the game as Jamie Drysdale was clutch once again, tying the score up for the Philadelphia Flyers. With an empty time to score up for the Flyers. Flyers went into overtime. Kaminsky held the game. A 2-on-1 for the Flyers was stopped by James Reimer. And the Ottawa Senators got the victory in overtime 2-1. A tough loss for the Flyers, but a very important point going into the Olympic break. I gotta tell you, when you have a chance in overtime, you have to fire that puck. Kaminsky had a chance to put the game away right there. And a timely save by James Reimer goes the other way. Ottawa scores. So you have to capitalize on their chances in overtime. It's important to capitalize on the chances that you have in the overtime period. Yeah. It was a tough loss for Flyers. Important for Flyers going to the Olympic break. Rasmus Ristolainen and Travis Sanheim will be the Olympic representatives for the Philadelphia Flyers. And Kosher Tackett will also be going there as well. I recently did a poll on my YouTube community tab and the Flyers Extreme Facebook group. I also did a poll on Twitter. I'm not sure if anybody really participated in that. But let's take a look at the poll right now. Right now, in this poll, I asked Flyers fans. I said, hey, Flyers fans, who do you think will have the biggest impact in the Olympics? So far, 14% said Travis Sanheim, 14% said Rasmus Ristolainen, and 71% said Dan Vladar. Let's check the poll on Flyers Extreme. Let's see what the results are on that poll on Flyers Extreme. Let's see, here we go. I also did a poll on the Flyers Extreme Facebook group. I'm looking for it right now. And here it is. I also asked the same question on Flyers Extreme. Unfortunately, Travis Sanheim got 0% of the votes. Rasmus Ristolainen got 20% of the votes. And Dan Vladar, with 87% of the votes, people are saying that Dan Vladar will be having the biggest outbreak, the biggest impact in the Olympics. Let's take a look at the poll that I did on my Twitter account. Let's see if have you ever participated in the poll on my Twitter account. Let's see here. Here we go. Okay, nobody really participated in the poll on Twitter, but Dan Vladar on both polls. One on Fire for Stream and one on my community tab. Dan Vladar, people are saying that Dan Vladar could have the biggest impact for the Philadelphia Flyers. They're the biggest impact in the Olympics. There's no doubt about that. Dan Vladar has had a pretty big impact with the Flyers team. In that game last night, he made kept the Flyers in the game. If the Flyers would have gotten the victory in overtime, Dan Vladar would have been the big reason for the victory last night. As he's been playing some really good games as of late. After coming back from the injury, he was a little rusty, but he's really turned things around for this team. Last night, Dylan Cousins, after scoring the goal, said something to Vladar after scoring the goal. I'm going to say right now, it's okay to be happy about scoring a goal, but taunting the opposition is very it's disrespectful. I don't like that. I don't like that shit. That's Bush League shit. I don't like that. And honestly, if Dan Vladar would have got his hands on Dylan Cousins, I guarantee you there wouldn't be anything left of Dylan Cousins. That's all I gotta say about that. That little punk thinks he can mouth off to our goaltender. Let me tell you something, Dylan Cousins, by the way. Your name is stupid. Dylan. I will say this. Dylan's a pretty hot name for a girl, for a woman, but as a man, it's a very pretentious name. That's all I gotta say about that. But I noticed a lot of women that have the name Dylan are very attractive. That's all I gotta say about that. Well, anyway, this was a tough loss in overtime. I've been noticing a pattern with the Flyers in overtime sessions and shootout sessions. Whenever they do good in overtime in the shootout, if they lose one game in a shootout or one game in overtime, then that's basically, if they lose one game in a shootout, basically all the teams figure them out in the shootout. Figure them out in overtime after one loss in overtime. That's just how it is. I notice that every year when the Flyers are doing really well in overtime and really well in shootouts, if they lose one game in the extra session, the overtime success and the shootout success takes a downfall. I've noticed that all season. But anyway, this was a very important point for the Philadelphia Flyers as they go into the Olympic break. Let's see here. Flyers will be back. Flyers will have a couple weeks off. Let me check the schedule here. So in February, the Flyers will have about 2 weeks off with no hockey. And then they will be returning On February 25th, they'll have a game against the Washington Capitals at 7 p.m. It'll be a back-to-back, which means Alexa Tolosov is going to have to play. God help us in that game. The Flyers will have another game at 8 p.m. as they take on the New York Rangers on the 26th of February. And the Flyers will close out the month of February with a game against the Boston Bruins. That game will be on ABC, I would assume. That'll be on the 28th of February to enter close out the month of February with a 3 p.m. game against the Boston Bruins. And then March, and then the month of March is going to be a tough month for the Flyers. They start at Oakmouth on Monday, March 2nd, against the Toronto Maple Leafs at 7 p.m. Then they will face off on Thursday, March 5th against Utah at 7 p.m. Flyers looking for some revenge against the Mariners yesterday. Lost in overtime. And on Saturday, March 7th, they have a 5:30 matchup with the Pittsburgh Penguins. And the second week of March, Flyers will face off against the New York Islanders on Monday, March 9th at 7 p.m. Then they'll be facing off against the Washington Capitals on Wednesday, March 11th. And then they'll be on the road against the Minnesota Wild on Thursday, March 12th at 8 p.m. And then on Saturday, that's right, Saturday, March 14th, they will have a matchup against the Columbus Blue Jackets at 7 p.m. And then they will have a 3-game road trip. First on Wednesday, March 18th at 10 p.m. they will face off against the Anaheim Ducks. And then on March 19th, they'll have a 10:30 p.m. matchup with the LA Kings. And then they will have a matchup with the San Jose Sharks on February 21st. That'll be a 4 p.m. game. And then they'll come home for 3-game homestand as they will face off against the Columbus Blue Jackets on the 24th. The Chicago Blackhawks on February 26th at 7 p.m. And then they'll face off against the Detroit Red Wings on Saturday, March 28th at 8 p.m. And then they will have a game against the Dallas Stars on Sunday, February 29th. And they will close out the month of March with a game against the Washington Capitals on March 31st at 7 p.m. on the road. And that is the games coming up from the Philadelphia Flyers. They had a lot of work to do. They got a very important point in that game. But after the Olympic break, Flyers have a lot. After the Olympic break, the Philadelphia Flyers have a lot of work to do as they try to find a way to get into the playoffs. This season is going to be a long shot. The Flyers are going to have to do a lot. It's going to take a lot for this Flyers team to find their way into the postseason. It's going to take a lot. And everyone on this team is going to have to contribute to really make it possible for this team to get into the postseason. Right now, it's looking like a tall task for this Flyers team to make the playoffs. But if there's a will, there's a way. The Flyers have to have a will. And the Flyers have to find a way. And that's all I have to really say about that. I'm glad they got the point during the Olympic break. If they didn't get any points out of this game, it would have been an entirely different story going into the Olympic break. Let's say this right now. Flyers have a lot of work to do after the Olympic break. And hopefully our players come back from the Olympics in one piece, hopefully. I would really love to see Travis Sanheim, Dan Vladar, and Rasmus Ristolainen with a gold medal. Or at least with anything. And I'm going to say right now, I predict that Dan Vladar is going to have some good games in the Olympics. And I predict that he is capable of winning a gold medal for Team Czechia. Travis Sanheim, I think he has a shot too. I think Ristolainen has a shot too. So I'd like to see that. I'd like to see that, I really would. So I can't wait to watch the Olympics this year. I'm mostly going to be DVRing some of the games, or I'll be recording. I'll be recording some of the games through DVR, so. Because a lot of games are going to be like at 6 p.m., 6 a.m., and I like hockey, but I don't like getting up at 6 a.m. to watch a game. That's just how I feel about it. But I will be DVRing. I will be recording the games through DVR. And that's all I gotta say about that. Guys, I will see you after the Olympic break, after the Flyers game on the 25th. I will be back with the Orange and Black recap on the 26th. I'll see you guys next time.